Well. Anybody out there feel like a hallelujah? Anybody out there feel like a hallelujah? Anybody out there feel like just shouting hallelujah? Well, I do, because God has been so good to me. When I think of myself as a 70-year-old man, I'm just thrilled to death. I never dreamed of making it to 70. I guess I would have done a lot of things different if I had, but I expected to be long gone by now. But for some reason, God gave me that three score and ten, and I have no idea why. It certainly was not out of my righteousness or wisdom. I did nothing to deserve living to be 70. As I was having a talk with the Lord the other night, I thanked him for making it, told him I was well pleased and that I was prepared to go at any time. And then as I walked into the kitchen where my wife was, I noticed my ring finger was swelling. And I took my ring off and I said, well, Lord, I was, I'm not talking about like right now. I was thanking him for the 70 years that I'm well pleased with. Um, but I guess in all of us, we have that urgency to um, get with the Lord in our prepared room. And yet we have that desire, especially if you get some little grandchildren like mine. My goodness, they just amaze me night and day and night. Little JoJo, Gracie, Austin, Lala, and of course, Joshua is like the skin covering my body. But I thank God daily for all of them, and I just wonder where they're going in life and what contribution will they make to the world. I hope that they make some good contributions to the world. I like when I talk to my sisters who had their kids early and now see the grandchildren, my goodness, growing up to go into law, go into medicine, to be a benefactor to the world. All of us ought to want to make sure that we leave the world better than we found it. All of us ought to want to have at least one person that we helped along life way. All of us ought to want to do something that we could look back on when we're on that deathbed. And I pray always not to linger, but at least if I have to linger, I want to be able to look back in Haiti. I want to be able to look back on Linwood. I want to be able to look back in where I used to pastor a place called Mississippi Town and Pratt City and in Mason City. I want to see where I helped somebody along life's way, somebody that got out of prison, somebody that messed up on drugs, somebody that didn't have the kind of parenting they needed to make it in life. I want to be able to look back and to say, Lord, thank you for giving me the opportunity to help somebody along life's way, help them to live a better life, enjoy life better, and just to be a contribution to the world. I wonder, how do you feel about that? Well, how about that hallelujah now? How about that hallelujah? How about that hallelujah? You just ought to be shouting hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. Thank God for being alive. I've talked to you before about faith being, um, love in action and love being faith in service. Well, how are you preparing for the birth of Christ? Are you trying to make sure you touch somebody? Or is it just all taken in for self and self and self and self? I want you to take a serious look at yourself and ask, what am I willing to do for the Lord? I think about Mother Teresa, who, Princess um, Diana of England was a loved Mother Teresa, and well, she could be among the highest anywhere, the richest, whatever. But Mother Teresa never stopped cleaning toilets in India. And you would have to know something about India to know what I'm talking about. Many of the people that clean toilets are called untouchables, and they couldn't even come out in the day and active times. But then 4 o'clock every morning, they have to get up, go down the city streets and shovel up all the dung that is in the street, men and animals. They have to shovel it up and get it out the way and clean the streets for the next day for other people, not for themselves. But Mother Teresa, in her own buildings and own places and stuff, a man asked her one day, one of the high priests said, when you're no longer the queen of the sisterhood, or governor of the sisterhood, or top general, I think is the word he used, when you're no longer the general of the sisterhood, what will you do? She said, man, I clean toilets better than anybody. I'm a specialist in cleaning up bathrooms. As a matter of fact, you can come and go with me now. I'm on my way to clean up these dirt floors in the place. I'm on my way to clean up and get it ready for activity for another day. You're welcome to go with me. But of course, he didn't go. But as she was in there cleaning up this process of pouring water onto the dirt and then sweeping the dirt in a certain direction, she heard a voice saying, what are you doing? She said, I'm doing what I must do. What are you doing? He said, not anything at the time. She said, well, take this bucket and pour water. Just pour it along as I sweep. And she got through and she told the man we're through. The man walked down the hall. She thought it was a fellow Jesuit in the building who had stopped by. But when she went to the door to look, it was a well-dressed man. And the man cried and said to her, thank you, thank you. I've never done nothing greater in all life. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You've made me feel so good. It felt so good making a way for somebody else. I said, thank you. And he walked away. And she thought, my God, nobody ever thanked me like that for doing something of this nature. My goodness, he was so thankful. She found out later that it wasn't a Jesuit at all. It wasn't a priest at all. But it was a man who ran one of the big companies there in India. And he got a lesson that he'll never forget, that faith is love in action. Glory, hallelujah. And love is faith in service. So I want you to prepare for the birth of Christ by finding something to do that is totally unnecessary for you, that you may have even thought was beneath you. But this is December. This is the birth month of Jesus Christ. And you can find your way. You can find your way to be more like Christ. After all, he didn't come to serve himself. He came to make the world better for everybody else. Aren't you glad he came? Well, you too can make a contribution. How good the Lord is. God bless you. God keep you is our prayer. I got a mind, live for Jesus all of my days. See you at 8430 Linwood, known as C.L. Franklin Boulevard in the city of Detroit. I got a mind, whoa, live for Jesus all of my days. Oh, yes, I know in order to win this fight, I got to give God all that's right. I got a mind to live for Jesus. All of my, all of my, all of my